Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another field test shooting video. Today we're looking at the BARRA 4006 CO2 Blowback BB Pistol, and again this is the tabletop review. So we will not be doing any shooting either for accuracy or power. That will come up later, hopefully next week when I get to it. Now this gun will be available in our Canada and US online stores. May not be at the time that you watch this video, it just depends when you're watching it. It is a new product, and so far we haven't quite listed it yet, but it will be there shortly, so keep posted for that. Let's get right into the specifications. This is a 1911 design pistol. It uses 12 gram CO2 cartridges, shoots 4.5 millimeter steel BBs, and has blowback action, full blowback action that is. It is a mostly all metal build, with the exception of the grips and maybe a couple internal pieces. It has a 17 round dropout full-size metal magazine and weighs in at 2.1 pounds or 953 grams. It has a total length of 8.7 inches, which is 220 millimeters, and has that classic single action only 1911 trigger that's light and short. It also has a claimed FPS of 370, which I think may be a little high, but we'll find out when we do the field test shooting video. It also has fixed front and back white dot sights, and it comes in a nice cardboard box with 4.5 millimeter steel BBs, an Allen key, and the manual. Let's take a look at those items real quick here. So just a box with some basic information. There's really not much going on here. Of course, you get that box with some steel BBs in it just to get you started. You get the Allen key, which is just like every other Allen key that comes with most KWC pistols, CO2 pistols, so you can reuse that over and over again in other guns, or if you lose it, not a big deal. And then you have the BARRA manual, of course, with some things you're not supposed to do, right there. Don't do any of that stuff. Don't shoot yourself. Don't shoot animals. Watch out for ricochets. Don't work on this and modify it or do anything like that. There's the parts, right? Some more information there. Safety, how to work the slide, the grip safety, how to load the magazine, right? Safe shooting, of course. And a little bit more information for field stripping it, okay? We're not going to field strip it today, but you can field strip this just like any of the other KWC 1911s. And if you haven't noticed, it is a pretty accurate replica of a real steel 45 caliber 1911. And again, it's distributed by BARRA and made in Taiwan, specifically the KWC factory in Taiwan. Just show you a couple guns to compare it to. I don't have an exact comparison, but this is an Elite Force TAC 1911 or 1911 TAC. You'll notice that the rail is a little bit less chunky on this version. It does have skeletonized trigger and hammer and ambidextrous safeties, and you do have white dot sights front and back. So there are some similarities, different grips. I do like these grips, by the way, they're nice. But if you compare that to this gun, it's a little bit more like a 1911 in the trigger, in the slide per se, maybe not quite as, maybe a little more textured. You do have the white dot sights, you do have the skeletonized hammer, and you do have the ambidextrous safeties. So it's kind of somewhere between a classic 1911, right, in certain areas, and grips as well, very similar. Trigger for sure, right? Slide, other than the grooves are a little more aggressive, right, on the BARRA. But very similar guns, and all the parts pretty much will work together. You could mix and match parts if you want. It should all work because they have the same slide setup. All of that's pretty much the same. All right, let's take a further look into some detail and take a look at how this gun shows, right? Recessed barrel, got a working barrel bushing, comes out. You've got the front sight there, white dot, middle breech and barrel area, white dot sight on the rear. Pretty heavy grooves here, even front and back, so you're going to have no problem racking that slide. You have a nice heavy Picatinny rail. It definitely comes down a little further. I would say this gun weighs a little more than the standard KWC 1911 because it's a bit beefier, a little chunkier. Working slide catch release. Again, you just have a standard 1911 trigger. It's not skeletonized. You have the magazine release in the normal place with the standard 1911. This would, in a real one, would be a 7-round magazine, but this is a 17-round magazine because we're dealing with BBs, not 45 caliber ammo, right? And then we have, again, ambidextrous safeties, skeletonized rear hammer, working grip safety, some kind of obtrusive writing here Be nice if it was a little bit lighter in color, so you didn't see it maybe matching the color of the gun a little bit, so it blended in, but you could still see it. Why not, right? As long as it's on there, right? So there's there and there, right? You can see right through the mag well, just like a real steel gun. Full blowback action. You can see it locks back in the full lock position. Okay. Yeah, I think that wraps up this portion of the test or the video. So let's get into some of the pros and the cons. This has that well-liked KWC 1911 look in a more modernized tactical design. And it also has that classic 1911 short and light single action only trigger that we all like. It's fully field strippable just like a real steel version, along with the other KWC 1911. So you can field strip it if you want to do any basic cleaning or maintenance. It has all the working parts just like a real steel 1911, including the working grip safety. And again, it has that full-size dropout metal magazine that holds the CO2 and 17 rounds. This tactical version has the accessory rail on the bottom for add-on accessories. It also has that ambidextrous thumb safety. And again, there's the recessed barrel for added realism. And for even more realism, you have that full blowback action that simulates recoil and gives it that true single action only trigger because it cocks the hammer whenever you get the recoil action. And it has a nice, good overall fit and finish. All right, just a couple cons. The painted markings on the slide are a bit too bright. They're not super large, but they are a little bright. It would be nice if they color matched the slide a little bit, just enough to see them, but not to stand out too much. And as with all these KWC full blowback operation guns, they do rob some power and shots per CO2. And of course, with most of these style guns, the sights are non-adjustable, although you do have some nice white dots on there. So hopefully it's fairly accurate out of the box. All right, again, this gun should be available in our Canada and US replica airgun stores shortly, so stay posted for that. Keep checking to see if they come in stock if you're interested. If you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, then do make sure to check out replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. Also make sure to click on the link in the description where I'll put a link to the written post that will have additional photos and a written version of this video review. Alright, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe and also check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Alright, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.